So removal. Unfortunately, this is becoming one of the busiest sides of my clinic as cheap and incomplete microblading training is on the rise, and so are brows that people are unhappy with. First and foremost, importantly, do not try these methods I'm going to describe at home. I mean it. You run the risk of seriously damaging your skin, including scarring it. Please watch to the end where I can give you some advice on what will make your brows lighten safely. So first I'm going to talk about emergency removal, and then the different methods of healed removal and what they're best for. We're going to talk about the different colours that artists may have to remove, so it's a good idea to be well up on your colour theory. I have a free colour theory mini course and there's a link in the description. As soon as I qualified, one of the first things I wanted to add on to my services was removal. This was more for an insurance policy in case I ever made a mistake on someone's brows, so I'd be able to easily rectify it. I didn't quite envisage having to lighten so many pairs of other artists' brows, but as permanent makeup gets more popular, there's going to be substandard work and also work from decades ago where pigments were very, very different than they are today and much stronger. So what are the different types of removal that are available for you? First of all, let's talk about an emergency. You make a mistake on someone's brows, or you're a client and you don't like your brows, then you have a 72-hour window for what we call emergency removal. This is because the pigment isn't sealed in by a new layer of skin yet and is easily accessible by the removal product. If you're a technician, you can do this as you work. You can put removal products on the area where you've made a mistake and it will literally suck the pigment out of the skin. This can be done with saline solutions such as Lift and Botched ink, and also with alkaline solutions such as Pigment Off and Allure. It's like a correction pen. It literally pulls the pigment out straight away and you just have to be very careful not to put any more pigment back in the area you're working. If you're a client and you're needing emergency removal, then you must see a technician within 72 hours and they must be trained. Do not try any home removal products such as rubbing salt into your eyebrows or acids. You are seriously at risk of scarring yourself and no technician will be able to work well over it. Book in with a removal technician and they can make serious progress pulling the pigment out if you do it in that 72-hour window. If your brows have already healed in, then no technician can work on them for a minimum of 6 weeks. And so if they're healed old work, then you have different options for removal available to you. They all have different advantages and also disadvantages. The first type is chemical removal, such as saline, acid or alkaline removal. And these are performed by tattooing a substance into the skin which the body wants to reject. The pigment in the skin clings to the solution through osmosis and heads out through tiny holes and forms a scab on top of the skin, which takes the pigment with it as it comes off. The advantages for these types of solutions are that it can work on any type of pigment, and some are stronger methods than others, so the disadvantages are that you have to be cautious going in with a strong solution on someone with very sensitive skin. It can lead to scarring. Also, it's quite time consuming and most clients need a few sessions to lighten their brows significantly enough to cover them. This means it can be a very long and sometimes tedious process. Saline is a substance that's been used for decades, but now acids and alkalines have come on the market, and some of these can produce results a little quicker, but can also be too strong for some people's skins. Laser removal works differently. The laser actually smashes the particles of pigment into tiny pieces so that they become less visible. The advantages of laser is that it's quick, but the disadvantages are that it can be quite painful, and also the laser can't see every colour. It does tend to work very well on carbon-based pigments and can remove that quite quickly as the particles are already quite small. But for some substances, such as titanium dioxide, it can be less effective, and so a different removal method may well be advised. I would advise any new artist to train in removal so that you can help as many people as possible, and also to make sure that you can't make any mistakes you can't correct. For someone who has had eyebrow work that they want removing, it's advisable to see someone as quickly as possible to pull out as much pigment as possible before it heals in. Permanent makeup is designed to fade over time, and if you're looking to fade your own microblading quicker, then the top things that fade it are sunlight, facial products such as retinol and gentle acids such as face peels and glycolic acid. These should only be used in strengths that you would normally use them on your face. You shouldn't be trying any home removals at all. But as an artist, we advise not doing these things to keep your brows from fading. So obviously doing them will fade your brows quicker, but safely. To advise your clients on the quickest and most effective removal method for them, it's imperative you know the different kinds of pigments and how they behave. So I've made this little video on it to explain some of that here.